Well, hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Good to see you. Thank you for dropping in and tuning in, turning on. Welcome, everyone. It is Monday, which is for us Prosperity Monday. Um, yeah, that's how we call it. As I get over here, hello, everyone in the chat room. What's up? Good to see you. As I go over here and I go over there, I tell you, love the internet. It's time travel, defies explanation. Boy, let me just say speak favor over us all. Always use the favor, and the gods recognize it. You know, depending on what your cup of tea is, where that's concerned. But yeah, they can see it. We're going to be talking about some things that we can do where you get there. But nothing missing, nothing broken. Love that reality. Hey, Jackie, Robert Scott, what's up? Nina, hello, Source Frequency. Linda, what's up? Hi, Millie, good to see you. DC, what's up? Lori, Scotty Boy, Mr. Floyd, you need to sit down. In fact, all the expedition members that met last night, y'all probably want to be maybe already sitting down, but wait till I tell you what happened today here. I mean, we were looking for a sign, boy, at the Steiger house. Anyway, let me just say, Ginger, you're gonna love this as well. Rick, good to see you as well. Linda, Lost in Space, good to see you. Millie, and I just want to make sure I got everybody. Lori, good to see you. Grace, hello. I mean, folks, I'm still buzzing. Um, it was really difficult, Warren, good to see you, to even sleep. I mean, and I'm reading some of the emails and wow. Hey, Gaia, what's up, darling? Say hi to Paul. Ah, okay. I can't sit down. I mean, folks, this I just want to just and I've been here a little while on this planet, over 25,000 days, and what I experienced last night, I expecting, wasn't anticipating it. Think at the peak there were 19, 20 people. Um, that those who signed up, they showed up for the most part. I think there were a couple who couldn't due to time. But anyway, I just haven't experienced what happened last night. There was an energy that is such a rarity. Again, it was hard to get any rest or sleep. Uh, I was buzzing so much in my spirit on this that for the first time in a long time, I don't remember any dreams, and that's unusual. So, expedition members, Soul Tribe family, um, this what happened just a couple hours ago is mind blowing. And so I'll tell you, it's been raining here. And the thing about it was, there wasn't any lightning or thunder that was around us. And I guess I'm trying to remember, and come out. That's very curious. Like 7:07. And this lightning bolt hit on our property, hit a tree, and the way it hit the tree was weird. Because and when this lightning bolt hit, we thought it was like an explosion. It was so loud, it reverberated. Lynn and I were talking for almost a minute. And I told her, I looked over, I said, I think Zeus just sent us a message. And it was a little bit after that, we discovered this huge oak tree um, where the lightning bolt hit. It fractured the ground, but the tree was completely like someone had taken a hot laser and just kind of like that, just and the tree went that way, and the way it fell was even interesting because we're just sitting there going, "Wow!" So all of you and Mr. Floyd, you tell me. See, yeah, Lauren, yeah. I mean, hello, Robert V. How are you doing? Good to see you. Um, what do y'all think about that? Robert Scott going, yep. Yeah. So Grace, it was just absolutely freaking amazing. It registered as like almost like a minor earthquake. I mean, very unusual, very, very, and the way from what happened last night, there is no doubt the gods are very much aware of us. They're aware of y'all too. Hey, Millie, what's up? Yeah, yeah, we were. If we were wanting an additional sign, I mean, there was so much last night that anyway, powerful, powerful stuff. That's all I got to say. Uh, what's that, Gaia? Let's see. My rescue duck. Got to see what you were saying, dear. Nina. Yeah. Thor, Zeus, I mean, however you want to name it, but that was some powerful stuff. What did Millie say? I was walking around earlier and I felt the energy through my Earth Star chakra that felt like an earthquake. Meantime, I was just walking in from grounding outside. They see this is, I told Lynn, I said, the gods are talking. At that time, I didn't know it had taken this tree out, but the way the tree went and the way that the ground is, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it rattled everything. Our neighbors, they were rattled. I mean, because it was just like uh, powerful stuff. Anyway, um, Grace says, "Yep, got confirmation." Yeah, yeah. So anyway, interesting, Loretta. I'd like to hear that. I'm trying to get up here on the thing on that. Uh, Interesting. Gender, the symbol of the tree. Yeah. Yeah. CJ, yeah, the gods must be crazy. That's a great movie, by the way. Well done. Yeah, nothing is by coincidence. So we were looking for hello, Carol Spirit, how are you doing? Um, yeah. And the thing about it is, Rocky didn't phase him. It's like, yeah. Almost like you didn't hear it. All righty. So, um, as we continue to go forward, hello, Witch Moon, how are you doing? Wow, that's interesting. She writes, I was cutting up some jalapenos, cool, and saw a blast of light appear in my kitchen 10 minutes ago. It was like, see, I don't know, something's happening. All I know is this, we need to be sending out some positive vibes, man, to get the world to go the other way. I mean, you know, this I don't know if y'all are keeping up with this, but it is, as they would say, some serious stuff going on. Word is that, and I got bringing in just a little bit of current affairs. That's why we do this expedition, is that the old ways ain't seeming to work. And if it's broke, why keep doing it? Right? Um, so it is being circulated in the beltway, the inner beltway, that um, Biden's going to give Zelensky the go ahead to use U.S. ballistic missiles. The story's out there. I mean, these missiles can hit Russia, and Putin's already said that if that happens, it's game on. It's World War III. Folks, this is why we're going to be talking about remote viewing. And I'm reaching out to Max Vision to get him on because he and Max, you're again criminally under subscribed. But the fact that remote viewing is real, uh, it seems like we have that ability inherently within most people. You just need to be trained, and that we can. And this is what's interesting with minimal, getting into that zone. I mean, we're going to look at this because I want us to practice some of this. And for the expedition, it's going to be, I think, highly important that we have a good understanding of remote viewing, that humans can consciously leave their physical bodies. That's the question is the soul the one leaving or is it the spirit? But it's conscious, we know that, and can penetrate any government, any corporation, any boardroom, any, as I told you back when I was, in construction, you know, worked on a government facility, and they had what they called a dark room. And it ain't like the thing you think with the cameras is it was a Faraday cage and plus. But that doesn't even stop. There are some people who are so good at this, they don't work. They're government employees, but they can do things that remarkable accuracy. So if that is true, then tell me why we can't go into the astral realms at will, singular or in a group. And later this week, we're going to get into there's a whole class you can take at universities now on Inception, the movie. And what it has done is remarkable. That movie, it advanced the study, the interest, and the recognition of how powerful this realm is and how that realm impresses this realm and how we're all so interconnected. But we don't need this kind of nonsense. I mean, why? It's like there's no love and there you don't hear it at all. So I believe that we can go in and meet with the gods and say, hey, you know, been praying to this other one. Most people pray to this other, but ain't nothing happening. So we need a new plan here. I mean, isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I mean, then it draws down into that thought and that idea: are the mimics real? Now, mimics are known by other names, shapeshifters. But what we do know is that humans are not the only sentient species that's on this planet. I mean, you look at today where we are. Why would someone do this? Why would you do it at all? The insanity of so-called politicians, bureaucrats, um, corporations, it's insane. Doesn't make sense. Why would humans do this? Everyone is in fever pitch, on this whole thing with the presidential candidates, but it's crazy because there's no, I remember Nixon. I remember Ronald Reagan. Actually, that's when I was doing video work for the Republican Party. And it wasn't this kind of nonsense. I mean, we got a presidential candidate that they want to kill. I mean, that's crazy. Then you got the other presidential candidate that's a mirage. Harris is a mirage. I mean, she doesn't exist. There's nothing that she's done. And what's weirder is that you've got a candidate running for the top place in our structure of government who did a coup against her boss. And the thing is that no one ever voted for Harris, not one single Democrat. They completely circumvented the whole rules in the system and acted like it was no big deal. So you've got a candidate that is a mirage in every aspect. Then you question, and this is the insanity, folks. Now, the question, I look at this and I look at this insane Kabuto theater that's going on, and then I'm asking myself, so are they really human? I mean, are these really humans in control? I mean, shapeshifters, right? We have come a long way. I mean, many people, which we call the straights out there, their reality is framed and manipulated. It's a spell. I mean, this is why I think occultists need to unite because the straights are screwing it up. I mean, World War, really? We as a nation have spent ourselves into bankruptcy. This is crazy. Intelligent humans do this? I mean, and then you got to ask yourself, well, what if these are soulless? What if they have the ability to truly, nature does it all the time, a chameleon, many other species. So shape-shifting. People that's run for office and they cast spells. I mean, I was talking to someone and I said, here we have this Senate thing and it's nuts. And I said, what's so odd about it is that you don't know what either candidate really stands for. And I said, that's magic, where you just blindly accept something because my parents did it, my grandparents were Democrats, but they wouldn't be Democrats today, Democratic Party. And the Republicans, ay, ay, ay. I mean, the Republicans are truly the bitches of the Democrats. I mean, just straight up. And so they play this ridiculous game, and they're going to get people hurt. I mean, here in the United States, well, it's over in Europe as well. I mean, you have this single largest movement of humanity. Never been done. No, we don't even fully grasp the repercussions of these decisions. And you're going, humans are doing this? The United States is more representative today of what Nazi Germany was in the 1930s. The only thing I can say on the upside of that is that we see this resurgence now in everyday people like us who say, tried to play their game, tried to do it their way, and nothing's changed. I mean, nothing's changed. So if I am a cognitive, rational human being that I can think and I can look at the situation and I can assimilate the facts, well, you come down to a simple conclusion. There's got to be a different way. I left Christianity. And listen, I'm grateful for the experience. They taught me more about the astral realm than I ever could. But I was already an initiate before I went into Christianity. And the interesting thing was is that when I was introduced to Christianity at the age of 12, by the time I turned 15, I was on the street and taking LSD and experiencing different realms before I even had any idea of what my soon-to-be religion would teach me. And that religion showed me how to enter in safely. It showed me many times it's not was never foreign to me. But then again, in the chemical induced state, which is, hey, humans been doing that for tens of thousands of years, who knows? But the same realm. And I was never once hurt, never once in any way faced anything that was in any way threatening. Different looking, yes, but yeah, yeah, don't think so. So I guess then it for me when I left Christianity, and it's taken a while. It's like making a good pot of chili or stew. You can't do that in a half hour. I mean, to really do it right, you're looking at 8+ hours in order for all the ingredients to blend and to merge and, give you this, explosion of wonderful flavors. I find myself here and I look at the world. One of the reasons why I was into Christianity, to my religion, is that I wanted to really help the world. I mean, that's not a bad thing to be motivated by, to have as an intent. But the problem is that it was a broken system, very unbalanced, very unfair. And what I have found in the occult is that place where my mind can be opened to consider all possibilities. And many of those possibilities don't jive with, the things that you collect through the years and the decades. But the great thing about that is that with an open mind, you can begin to erode many of those, calluses. That's our biases. And, every person has their own. And so here we are now. We're off to go into a place that's just going to be far out. Robert says, yes, chili the next day is best. Indeed, it is. But y'all get it. Hey, John Price, what's up, brother? I'd like to buy the world of Coke. Don't we all? Hey, Chloe, good to see you as well. Um, so there we go. Scotty Boy says, I'll do a line. So Chris says, I'm so confused. Did the experiment work? What happened? I had a vague dream. Someone was kissing my feet, thought for someone was sending me love. Yes, last night we did meet and we will be, this is not just a one-time thing. We'll probably be into this for about 3 months. It's an expedition. And this group of men and women, I mean, powerful. That's all I can say. So to answer your question, Chris, it was something that was on the verge, I would say borderline magical. There was an energy that was felt by everyone. And positive energy. And I can say this, I left with this much more deeper sense of unity, family, a group, uh, great minds. And every person on the expedition team, and it is an expedition, you know, whether we're doing it mentally or not, doesn't matter. It's still the same thing. And we have the skill sets that, and as I told the group last night, I said, I couldn't have picked a team better. I mean, and the thing about it is, it was being dropped into our group, and then come to find out that this is not coincidence of just the group. There was this dynamic that was already flowing, and it was just undulating and seeking a place to begin to coalesce. And here we were. And Mr. Floyd, definitely want to get you on. Um, Now that's some powerful stuff, Mr. Floyd, in his channeling. Um, Saint Germain. I mean, I I can't get into all of it because, quite frankly, its time was right where it was happening. But bottom line of it is that the gods are saying, far out, yeah, we're here. We got your back too, by the way. And while you're out there, you know, stop by and say hey to us. And I'm like, yeah, we love the idea. You know, we used to call it rapping, to sit down, and you're just rapping with everybody. So anyway, so the mimics, if now, and here's finishing out that thought on that. So if there is this malevolent force that's now taken man's consciousness, or at least what is perceived collectively, and it's trying to absorb and reposition reality. Now, if we can see this, and the thing about it is, you look at humans, if I was a Democrat, I'd be really pissed off going, wait a minute, wait a minute. You took away, you disenfranchised me. I didn't vote for that person. We didn't have caucuses. We didn't have, where, you go through the process. No. Now, if you look at what's going on, the world is just a much crueler place, and it's going to get, there is this reality. I want to reject it. I won't accept it. Now, if there is mimics, shapeshifters, whoever, reptilians, if they are here, and if they seek domination, power over us, humans are not real smart. I mean, they're really not. And you see it play out daily. That's what drives me here. This is the motivation. I mean, we'll get into the remote viewing because we're going to take some lessons here as a group. You can do it. We're going to be reading a book. In fact, it is this book here. Actually, it's two books. The Ultimate Mind. This is some far out stuff, and I love it. That's why I got to get Max onto the show. And the second one, the Remote Viewer Guide. We're going to think there'll be some people in the Soul Tribe that are just going to be shocked, going, now wait a minute, I had no idea. But let's continue to bridge what I was talking about, where these mimics, these shapeshifters, if they're not human souls, and there's good cause for that. I'm convinced that through the manipulation of humanity's DNA, I think there are those who walk in flesh and blood, but they don't have the same thing on the inside because they don't have the same mailing address. It's like, Yeah, not even in the neighborhood, not even in the freaking, state. So the CIA, the technology sector. Oh, hell, I got to say, in a number of sectors where the rich and powerful, you know, when you have so much money, it doesn't matter. You become, assimilated almost into the system. And then when you have the rebels, like Elon, they don't like that. But governments, I mean, think about what the Israelis did. Go and check that out. Come on. That's some Star Wars stuff, man, going on there. So all these organizations, you know, the industrial military machine, spending billions. They dole the money out to universities again, and they want to identify as many people as possible that show cognitive skills that are higher and above the general populace. And one of those areas of deep research is this other realm, whether you want to call it a realm that the mind can only penetrate, whether you want to call it a physical realm, whether you want to call it an alternate realm, it does exist. Now, getting back to the point on mimics, shapeshifters, non-humans, are they, and I've talked about this last week, and when I was reading this over the weekend, it became so clear to me that, yeah, listen, if you can remote view where one government, one corporation is spying on the other, I mean, if you're really good at remote viewing, you can make easily upper six figures, seven figures is not out of the realm of possibility. Think about that. You'll never have to worry about another day ever having to work if you're really good. If you can hit your target and do it in a sense of the accuracy score, there's companies and, your government wants to talk to you. That's why they're monitoring this. It's like these people are doing this. So, Robert V., I didn't get a chance to watch your show live, but I did have a chance to listen to it later, and dreams. So, I just look at it like this. It's where God lives. It's where the gods live. Demigods, however you want to say it. It's most likely where all of us are going to be. Again, we visit it regularly. The gods speak to us in our dreams, and you can do it consciously. I used to do it, with regularity. Lay hands on a person, begin to speak prophecy over them. Have no idea who those people are. What are we doing? What we're just accessing that higher realm. So if that's true, then what could we do individually? I mean, you don't have to be on the expedition. We'll continue as we progress. You're going to share vicariously with us, but I want to see every one of you to do it. I got to read the chat. I mean, the bus is going, whoa, man. It's like, man, keep your eyes on the road. But that's where I see us doing effective change. I mean, if you're going to live your life, isn't it better to help humanity out than to aid it in its destruction? That doesn't make sense. And what we found out last night, and it was amazing how there's this commonality. Um, it's the Wild West. I mean, it ain't no place to be going over there. I mean, I think you could easily do it casually, but if you're going in with a mission, well, there's other forces that you can count on that probably are going to be against that. And That's what expeditions do. We explore, we define what we saw, the territory, the culture, the whole energy. And that's as explorers, that's what we're doing. We're scientists. In fact, there is a term. Mr. Floyd, who gave us that term? Was it Michael or was it Saint Germain? I forget which one. Hey, Gilbert Smith, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Um, but we are going to be astronauts. Astronauts, get it? Astronauts. Because that's exactly what we're doing. We're exploring space. We just have a different modality. You see, we don't need a rocket ship. We have our minds, you could say, spirit, soul, that which is not of this realm. Yeah. And the body kind of digs it too, because there's this residual energy. I mean, like last night, I mean, I just had to get up and I started reading because I wasn't getting any sleep. Saint Germain, thank you, brother. Thank you. Mr. Floyd, I'd like to get you on this week. I think it'd be great. So the astronauts, yeah, that's what we are. And so it was the gods that gave us that name. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're exploring just a different perception or degree of space. And there's a lot of other energies in there because there's a lot here in this planet. And it's just like, okay, so if we could begin to change that, uh, see, and Lauren had the same thing. That's what there was so much synchronicity. The new Mercury 7. It's interesting. I see us like I see us group as, like the Magellan. It's like we are out there exploring, baby, and it's exciting. You like, but you have to have your poop in the all together because yeah, you don't know what you're going to find out there. It's true. All right, I would still prefer a yeah. Well, I can dig that as well. So anyway. So let's peruse. Give me 1 second as I pull this up. Da, 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 da. All right. So allow me to bring this up. So we're going to be reading The Limitless Mind. This is my Kindle collection. Someone asked me about what kind of books I read. Well, I read all kinds of books, as you can see. Um, you know, it's, and I add to it all the time because it's so fine. Many times it entertains my mind. And as you can see, if we were to try to cover all this, it'd be another 10 years. But this is what I read, and it's enjoyable. So, yeah. Anyway, so I want to get up here, and I just thought we'd just start kind of perusing this. And like I said, I definitely want to get Max on here. I thought this was interesting. So Schrodinger's cat, right? Everyone knows the theory. By the way, the history behind it, if you read what happened, I mean, there were some brilliant minds that, wow, they were working in the astral. So as I consider science an integrating part of our endeavor to answer the one great philosophical question, which embraces all others. Who are we? And more than that, I consider this not only one of the tasks, but the task of science, the only one that really counts. So Schrodinger, he kind of figured this out in a way. And we'll just get into a little bit of this because this is, folks, this is the place where reality becomes fun. It's like, yeah, I can dig that. Let's see if I move myself. There I go. Um, the author says, I've been investigating and writing about remote viewing and extrasensory perception, ESP, for more than 30 years. In this book, I will try to answer the critical question, why bother with ESP? In an author's preface, the reader often has an opportunity to find out who the author is and what is on his or her mind. My mind is presently filled with a mixture of anger, grief, and sadness at the recent and untimely death of my dear daughter Elizabeth, who left us in July 2002 at the age of 40, way too young. She was an open-hearted psychiatrist, a courageous researcher, a linguist, and a healer who often worked with me. Although she was a practicing Buddhist with a Jewish upbringing, I love that. That's, if you were to make that like a dessert, that would be a good cake. From her sickbed, she expressed the desire to be the Virgin Mary's assistant, very much in line with her research in distant healing and distant prayer. I have included more about Elizabeth's research and our father-daughter ESP experiments and adventures in the afterword. Elizabeth was an inspiration to many people within and beyond the medical research community. She was also brightened my life and inspired me to write this book. I would not have been introduced to the possibilities of limitless mind if Elizabeth and her husband, psychiatrist Mark Cummings, had not been so passionate about the Dajon, the great perfection teachings of the 20th century Buddhist. Master Long Chinpa. In his books, I experienced the magic of trading the fear and suffering of our contemporary condition awareness for the peace and freedom of timeless existence. I think it may be well worth this to check that out. As a visionary philosopher, Gurdjieff describes our condition. We are each like a machine controlled by accidental shocks from outside. This is what we must overcome. A scientist, I am comfortable saying that the Dzogchen teaches us to look directly at our awareness and experience the geometry of consciousness, the relationships of our awareness to the space-time in which we live. Properly understood, these teachings of expanded awareness and the experience of spaciousness are not about self-improvement or gaining power. They're about self-realization, discovering who we really are. Such teachings predate by more than 8 centuries my own efforts for the past decade to show people how to develop their psychic abilities. To my mind, the self or ego is not who we are. This can be revealed in many ways, one of them being the practice of remote viewing. Among other things, we discover through this process that we are the flow of loving awareness that is available to us whenever we are quiet and peaceful. This is the underlying theme of the limitless mind. I believe that in this plane of illusion, we give life all the meaning it has for us. We give meaning to everything we experience based on our lifelong conditioning. As it is articulated in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, as the thing is viewed, so it appears. Wow. Group, yeah, I think you can pick up that. That's a key point. It appears to me that we are first and foremost looking for experience of love. In a meditative state of mind, we can become aware that we are not a body, but rather limitless, non-local awareness, animating or residing as a body. Resting in the spacious flow of loving awareness, which some call God, we discover that we already have right now within us, everything we could possibly be looking for. That is what the Hindus call the ananda, and what Jesus called the peace that passeth all understanding. Our needs and wants are the illusions. The spiritual path called the Course of Miracle teaches, I am not a body, I am free, as God created me. In Limitless Mind, I will demonstrate that this is a testable hypothesis that does not require belief in anything. The data from remote viewing research show, without a doubt, that our mind is limitless and that our awareness both feels and transcends our ordinary understanding of space and time. Psychic abilities and remote viewing, in particular, point to the possibility of our residing in and as in this state of expanded, timeless, fearless, spacious awareness. Psychic abilities are neither sacred nor secular. They are just natural human abilities. We can use them to find lost car keys or elusive parking spaces, to forecast changes in the stock market, or to discover who we really are. I believe that 99% of the value of psychic ability resides in the opportunity they offer for self-inquiry and self-realization. Let's see if we can accomplish this together. This is Russell Targ, lives in Palo Alto. So, and I got to look at my time. Huh. In this small book is compressed a world of ideas, a formula of new waves of being. Within a sturdy background of scientific research and years of conclusive study, it presents a perspective on our humanity that, until now, would have seemed more mythical than real. You know, we're the dreamers. The dreamers, the ones who take the risk, the others that have a higher perception on it. We are the best of mankind. We are the best that humanity has because we're limitless in our imaginations. We're limitless in our creation. We call those things that be not as though they are. We understand that there is a subtle matter, a substance, whether it permeates everything or whether it is almost magical on demand. It exists. And we are those. We're the ones that make the rest of humanity envious. They're to say jealous, but they're envious of what we can do. They realize that they're not there, but they can see us. And though we may seem like we are crazy, that's all right. Kind of go with Forrest on that one. Crazy is as crazy does. But, never doubt the stimulation of eccentricity. And we are that. I love this group. There's a family here. There is deep bonds. And they're constantly, the tensile strength is always increasing. Each meeting, each time we text or writing comments or whatever, those tendrils continue to get stronger and stronger. It says, many have long suspected that the very concepts of near and far may be a stratagem of our local minds, more a habit or a cultural dictum than anything we really are. More than any way things really are. But now we discover that poets and mystics have always suspected our minds are stargates, our bodies sail of mysteries. What was taken to be remote is actually our near neighbor in the all-reaching compass of the mind. Russell Targ has spent a lifetime working in the science of consciousness and human possibilities. His research methods are both rigorous and resourceful, as they must be in such pioneering fields. Us astronauts, we get it. And yet, in elegant and lucid prose, he shows us the other side of the moon of ourselves. The descriptions of the remote viewing work that he and his associates have done are both compelling and central to our understanding of the human capacity. Russell Tarr gave us insight into why we sometimes receive information about a place, an object, a person that is neither available through normal local sensory mechanisms nor explained by classical space-time theories. Where does this apparently intuitive information come from? Why is it that we sometimes gain knowledge with a rapidity that is more like remembering than like any learning process? In exploring these questions, Dr. Targ is one of the new group of brilliant, courageous scientists who are changing our views of the nature of reality. In this company, we would include the English biologist Rupert Sheldrake and his theory of morphic resonance. Sheldrake states the very basis of paradigm shift. Things are as they are because they are as they were. The laws of nature are not absolutes. Rather, they are accumulations of habit. The law of gravity, for example, is a pretty well fixed habit, probably owing to the trillions of beings throughout the universe who give it general assent. Yet yogis, swamis, and more than a few Catholic saints report that in deep meditation or spiritual rapture, they have been known to bump their heads on the ceiling. Rapture is nothing if not a paradigm shift. There was the story of the 16th century Franciscan monk who was reported and seen, I think even by the Pope at the time. He could get into a meditative state of prayer. Thanksgiving is how I learned you get by giving thanks. Wow, it's powerful. But he walked out, 4-story high buildings, walked on air. The Jesus character walked on water. And, it was always questioned because I did a number of sermons on, so who was the only one that got out of the boat? Peter. The character Peter is, Peter was, he was a suck ass, kiss ass, but he was also one who always overloaded his mouth, So he sees the Jesus dude out there walking on the water, and Jesus says, well, come here, Peter. And, the thing about it, what Peter didn't get was that, if the Jesus character said for him to come, heaven and hell wasn't going to stop. Only Peter could stop it. And the interesting thing was, Peter was walking on the water, albeit for a few seconds. Yeah. So, anyway, let me just stop right there a second, folks. I gotta do. Yeah, I need to stop that anyway, right here. Okay, that's what we'll do. All right, so let me see something real quick. Okay. Something going on outside there in the front. But anyway, I think we can do the same. I think that as a group, and we've all experienced this. Come on. That's what made concerts so fun. Or at least they were back in the days when I went to them. All the ones that I knew are all dying off. So there you go. But anyway, so we're going to find out that if remote viewing is merely an ability that we all have, then why can't we transfer that as a group going into the different realms? That astral realm, the higher realms. Yeah, in my thinking, they're all the same. Astral meaning that which is beyond, So, hey, voiceover, what's over, Stephanie? Good to see you. Well, which moon? Thank you. Hey, Regine, good to see you. Bonnie, what's up, girl? So, Lady Ellie, hello. So, we're going to pick up on this like on Wednesday because, got the ladies tomorrow, and who knows, we may pick up on that as well. But we're going to get good at it. At least we're going to practice together. And I thought about this. This is something that everybody can do. Max Vision teaches on this. And, like I said, I want to get him over there and get Max on here because um, it's a powerful, powerful tool. And, it's like a hypnotist. You know, why do people become hypnotized? And why is it that some people are more susceptible to hypnosis where others are not? Oh, the complexity of our minds. I love it because within that mind is this spirit going up the step. There we go. Hey, Elderberry, good to see you. So understand the brain waves, reach those states. Yeah. I was telling the group last night, I got really good at lucid dreaming and then putting myself into that dream place, asleep when you start out, but definitely lucid dreaming in between. Um, there were years and years I was constantly on the road, always in an airport, every day or every other day. It was crazy. And you get to be a real pro at this. And I always tried to get seat 1A, you know, 787s, with the pods. I really like those, and those are better in the aisle. But anyway, so you get ahead of the pre-board, and by the time I never really recognized or ever paid attention to the people boarding. I was already in that state, and you do it year after year after year after year, you get really good at it. Yeah, it's true. The companies I ran, we always had meditation rooms. I'd encourage my employees to go in there, take an hour if you need it. You know, get in there, and they proved highly effective. The productivity increase on a per employee basis was well worth the ROI of getting meditation rooms. But anyway, uh, there you go. So everyone, much love to you as I look at the time and I'm going, okay. So tell me what you think. Is this not exciting? It is exciting. And what a dynamic group. We got a community here, but I got to tell you this I am still in awe of it. I was not expecting what happened. And when you see this and it comes together, just it's natural and it was beautiful. That is what potential possibilities are made of. I mean, we're an expedition group, but I'll tell you, if I was putting a company together, that would be a winning management team. That's on the comparison. If you were writing your business plan and putting the CVs of who your management, because that's what people buy, or you know how is management flexible? How is it, do they operate in sync with each other, and is it natural? Does one skill set complement the other skill set? That's what we had. That's far out. We got a soul tribe, and that, folks, that's representative of you. These men and women who came together, they're us. They are the soul tribe. And that's what's so freaking remarkable about this. And it's not just in one small spot. I just, ah, that song, you feel like I'm walking on sunshine. I mean, am I favored or what? Zeus came visiting by. I mean, holy crap. But again, I got to take care of a fallen trees. But anyway, all right, everybody, much love. Robert Scott says we are family. That's a fact. Mary Wynn, how are you, darling? I am in Lady, and love one. It's all that away. Rick, good to see you again. That's exactly what I've been. Ah, oh, I have to catch up on this. Uh, John says he'll be security. Right there with you on that. Uh, I love this. All right, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow with Miss Trina and Jenny, and then we'll pick back on this on Wednesday. Yeah, it'd be amazing to see where we'll be by Friday. Probably one step ahead, right? All right, everybody. Much love until we meet again. Continue to just let your love shine. Let that light shine.